Sir, you're good to go.
All right, cool. Good evening, everyone. My name is Michael Case. I'm the special teams coordinator at Riverside Poly High School. And on behalf of the Southern California Football Coaches Association, I want to thank you all for attending our virtual clinic. We're very excited for our next speaker, Coach Tim Lester. Coach Lester is the head coach at Western Michigan University, and his topic is going to be explosive RPOs and quarterback reads. Coach, thank you again for your time.
I appreciate it, man. Well, I want to get started. I appreciate you guys for having me, and I'm hoping I can get through this thing fast enough that we can get to some questions. But I named this clinic explosive RPOs because it's something we as a team here at Western Michigan University have been working really hard on. We've always been an RPO team, and we've been trying to continue to be more and more explosive. I think everyone is trying to find a way to become more and more explosive. At first, you just use it as a way to get out of bad runs, and then as you learn and get better at it, we averaged 42 points a game this year. We had two of our receivers were in the top 5 in the country in yards per catch, and our quarterback was number 2 in the country in pass efficiency. So a lot of the adjustments we've made as we've continued to learn about RPOs is that they've been very successful. Like I said, our quarterback was behind, I think, Mac Jones and right in front of Zach Wilson or something like that. So it's been really good, and I'm going to try to share as much as I can. And if I get the questions, great. If I can't, I can't. But let me get my screen up and running here so we can get this thing going. All righty. And bam, here we go. All right, that's just the title slide, nothing special. All right, so we're going to start with, I'm going to try to go through the 3 different, what we call the 3 different levels of RPOs. Okay, here would be the first one. We're going to start with the first level RPO. This is where we started our RPO. This is about 5, 6, 7 years ago. And it's for people that are just getting into RPOs. It's a great way to start. First level means we're reading a defensive end. Second level means we're reading linebackers and sometimes safeties if they come down to the second level. And then there's third level RPOs. And that's what I really want to get to. That's where we've made the biggest changes to what we do. But we're going to start with the first level RPOs, which is a simple numbers count. Okay, we did a lot of 10 personnel RPOs. I don't know what kind of team you are. The beautiful thing about RPOs is if you're a 10 team, if you're an 11 team, if you're a 12 team, 21, 20, it fits everything. You just have to know, your quarterback needs to know how many guys are blocking on a scheme. So we're going to get into this and talk through a little bit of some of the plays and kind of walk you through what we're telling our quarterback, what we're looking for. And all right, so obviously you see we're in a 3-by-1 open set. We're running inside zone to the boundary here. So our quarterback knows he can block 5, okay? The way we do it is we give what we call a bailout RPO, okay, which is normally a bubble to the field, a hitch to the boundary. We can block 5 guys, and we know we can block these 5, the 3 down linemen, the 2 linebackers over here to the boundary. The number one concern to our quarterback right now is this guy standing on the edge of the line of scrimmage. So he has some options here. We always start with the hitch into the boundary. If it's given to us, he can always take it, which is what he does here. He doesn't have to. This is just his choice. If he threw the bubble, we wouldn't be dead or anything like that. But you can see he takes the nice easy hitch. These are all run plays in our book. If he'd have thrown the bubble up top, it would have been in good shape too. But he's really just doing a numbers count. Okay, so every play, you know, you're going to run into the good looks. You're going to throw easy completions into favorable looks for that. So it's not hard to teach a quarterback. It's easier out of 3-by-1 than 2-by-2. We get a lot of different sets. We were a 10 team. This is 2 years ago. So we did a lot more of these first level RPOs a couple years ago. Our quarterback could run. If your quarterback can run these first level RPOs is a fantastic way to do it. Here's another one. Okay, we're playing the University of Ohio. We're running the same thing, inside zone to the boundary, bubble and hitch to the field. Obviously, we can handle those 3 down linemen. We can handle these 2 linebackers. Okay, you see the boundary safety walk down here. This is something that would trigger the quarterback. Okay, you can throw a bubble if you want. Bubble wouldn't have been a terrible look. He decides to take his shot. Okay, our hitches in the boundary convert to goes. This is something we discussed on the sideline. I told him next time they loaded the box on us and he was going to throw it, forget the bubble, take a shot through the fade. This is totally a conversion. It's a hitch that turned into a fade. But an example of, you're always attacking the weakness of the defense. And that's the key to everything. It doesn't mean you're going to execute it perfectly, but if your quarterback's smart, he's looking between the boundary safety and the Sam linebacker out here on the left-hand side of the screen is which one's the biggest threat. Obviously, the boundary safety is the threat. He cannot give this ball. So he's going to go ahead and take a shot. Okay, it was a good throw too. Okay, same game, same play. This is more of a standard look. Okay, they got 6 in the box. We're blocking with 5. Okay, he's got a couple options. Now, one thing you need to know about read RPOs, okay, first level, bailout RPOs, is if they do decide to bring 6, quarterback, he obviously has the hitch conversion up top here. He's got a bubble down here. And if everything is terrible, the worst thing he can do is you just read the defensive end. You know, we have a new quarterback who obviously had a great year this year. You're going to see him in some clips coming up. He was not a guy that could really read and run. So we were normally 6-man RPOs, not 5-man blocking RPOs. And you'll see some of those coming up. But this guy definitely could have read that defensive end if he wanted to. Here's the hardest thing about teaching a quarterback to be efficient in RPOs. There's a lot of right answers, okay? They have to understand, and the quarterback coach and the offensive coordinator have to support the kid as he's continuing to learn, because a fade wouldn't be terrible here to the boundary. Reading this defensive end wouldn't be terrible. He decided to throw a hitch. So what you try to do is massage the quarterback so he has confidence in what he's looking at, and you can lean towards what you want him to be aggressive with when they load the box. You really get to control the way he's thinking, but there's no right or wrong answer, and that's sometimes hard for coaches, okay, to understand that. But here's another one. Same play over and over again. We can block these 4 down linemen. We can block the Mike linebacker. He's just deciding between who's the biggest threat, between the boundary safety or the Sam. This one, he decides to read the Sam. Sam comes in, he pops the bubble out there, not a big deal. But easy completions, easy throws. This is just an outside run for us. Okay, move the chains, move the chains, move the chains. Okay, here's one. Here's the beater of all RPOs, right? Play man coverage. Okay, teams that are good enough, they're going to say, screw you, let's play man. All right, and when you're playing in the 5-man, okay, the 5-man blocking world, the 10 personnel blocking world, your quarterback's got to be able to read defensive end. Okay, if you get into this world. And once again, this is 2 years ago. We did a lot more of this 2 years ago than we did this year. Quarterback right here decides to read the defensive end, and comes up the field, hand it, and then make a tackle. Good job, good read. And we're off to the races. So there's a lot, actually, I don't think it's a lot. These quarterbacks don't think it's a lot because we run this play so many times and we're doing different things. The quarterback's running it, we're handing it, we're throwing bubbles. You can throw the screen to number 3, to number 2, to number 1. It doesn't matter which bailout RPO you decide to use. All right, here's another one. They got 6 in the box. Looks like man. Okay, normally when we see true man, unless we feel great about our hitch fade, and some of you guys in high school, if you have a boundary receiver that's dude and he can win every time, throw fade every time, one-on-one with no help over the top. Take it every time. This time we're reading the DN. Quarterback takes off. Obviously, they decide to cover the bubble. He's off and running. So life is good. Okay, a lot of different defenses, a lot of different options on the play. Okay, here's my favorite. Okay, once again, they got 5 in the box. We got 5 to block. Life is good for us. Boundary safety is deep. Okay, we're really reading off this Sam linebacker, who's right here in the middle of the picture. He's the guy that's going to tell us what's going on. He really doesn't move, so just hand it. It's 5-on-5. It's about as good of a situation as you can be in. The better your receivers are, the lighter the boxes you're going to get, the better your running game is. You're going to get more loaded boxes. But you have an answer for everything they're doing. It's a good job here, handing the ball off, getting about 12. This doesn't happen to us much where we just get to block a 5-for-5 box. I love it when it happens. But it's not hard for the quarterback to see. It's not hard decisions. You just got to make sure you massage him through the decisions. And when you're breaking games down, you're talking to him a lot, okay, about, where do they add their 6th defender? When you get into different sets, here's a 3-by-1 open set, but where do they add their 6th defender? Is it the Mike linebacker? Is it the boundary, the free safety? Are they an odd team? Like, who's their 6th defender? That's the major question that we're trying to get to. All right, I only put this one on just to show you because I don't think, this is man. So like we talked about, 6 in the box, man coverage. reading the defensive end. Unless you want to throw a fade up top, which we only did it. I only really let the quarterback, if they played off, I'd let them take the hitch all day into the boundary. But I told them to only throw the fade when we give you the green light, which you saw earlier. But here's press man. This is the way you take away RPOs. Go ahead and read the defensive end here and you'll be in good shape. But you can see the screen down here. It's not a bubble. Okay, it doesn't matter what screen you run. It's all about numbers. All right, so we ran a little, we call it Montana, where we're throwing the screen to number 2. It doesn't matter wherever your good player is, throw the screen to that guy. Throw it to the outside guy. The inside guy can run the bubble. The middle guy can run this little pop back screen. Now, if they would have played the zone, we could have done different things, but we're just reading the end. They decided, I always tell our offense, they're going to decide the way they want to get beat. We just need to make sure we identify what they're doing and continue to attack their weakness. Here, the DN bends, quarterback pulls it again. Now we're off and running. He was a pretty good runner, not a great runner, as you can see. He's going to run out of juice right about there, and that's why you're not a running back. But you can get an idea of the play, just a different RPO. Okay, there's a lot of different RPOs you can use on these things. Okay, now we're going to get to the second level RPO. I'm really trying to get to the third level. That's really what we've taken to the next level, I think, this year. That's really different than a lot of the years in the past. That's really taken our scoring totals from we've always been a 32, 33, 34 team. This year we were 42. We did have some great receivers. We had D. Eskridge, who just got drafted in the second round. He's heading to, and you'll see him coming up on film. He's going to the Seattle Seahawks, and our left tackle just got drafted by the 49ers. So they're both heading out west, which is exciting for those guys. So, all right, so second level RPOs. Now we are going to include our tight end in the blocking scheme. All right, doesn't matter whether you want to run inside zone weak, you can run stretch weak, you can run ISO and fold the tight end in. We have our tight end off the ball. You can run counter weak. I really don't care. You do have to make sure your linemen understand whether you have an RPO on or not, but run schemes really don't matter as long as you can count. Okay, here we have 6 to block. Okay, we'll be reading the Sam linebacker and the boundary safety. That's going to be number 7. This is kind of what we major in right here as a team. Until we get a quarterback that can really run, we are more of a 6-man RPO, second and third level read team. Okay, so let's get to this is actually this year. This is our new quarterback. So we are straight up 6-man. All right, we can handle those 4 down linemen. We can handle those 2 linebackers in the middle of the field. Now, the quarterback's decision is he's reading the Sam or the boundary safety, who's the biggest threat. All right, here he determines that the boundary safety, he's back about 9-10 yards. He's not worried about him. So he's going to go ahead and read off the Sam. Sam gets nosy. He's going to pop the bubble out there. It's a great decision, good read. More often than not, when you get teams that spin to the boundary, this boundary safety will come down. Okay, this boundary safety will come down. This boundary corner will bail, and then he can go ahead and take his hitch over here if he wanted, because he still has the hitch into the boundary if he wants it. But it's good, easy decision, good run play. They tried to overload the box, and we're going to take easy completion, get out there, give us 5 to 10 yards. I think he got 10 there, which is good play. Get the ball into one of your receivers' hands, let him go to work. Is this inside this? Yeah, this is inside zone. It's a good job. All right, here's another one. Same play. We're out of pistol here. Okay, so they got a funky defense, but you can count, right? 3 down linemen, 3 linebackers. So they got 6, we got 6. Actually, here, this is a unique situation that our quarterback would probably be okay if he handed this thing. All right, we have the 6 men. We got these 6 handled in the box here. So this is one of those really gray area plays, is that he's reading all 5 of these dudes, and you got to trust him. All right, if he hands it, you can have a conversation with him when you're watching film. Hey, why didn't you hand that? Depends which way you want him to lean. We change it as the games and as the drives go on how aggressive we want him to be, wherever our best matchups are. We think our best matchups in the run game, and he got kind of a gray read like this. Okay, he sees how deep the safeties are, just wants to get the ball out here into our receivers' hands. Our goal is a 5-yard gain. I think we got 7 there. But good decision. Different defense, though. But if you can count to 6, you're good. Okay, 6 on 6 is another inside zone. Pop it out there, get north. It's so important when you teach these these bubble runners. Now I'll go back to this thing now. You can see how we run bubbles. Okay, we're a back out bubble team. I just think it's, as an ex-quarterback, I think it's an easier throw. So really the only reason we do it. Actually, this is not a great bubble by our slot receiver. What we try to teach them, which we didn't do a good job of, is we want them to take 2 steps up the field. Okay, and then we want him to back pedal out of there to get him closer to the line of scrimmage. You can see he bubbles here. He catches it 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage. You know, the line of scrimmage is a 38 here. We want him to catch it right at the 38. I want him right on that line of scrimmage so we can get the most yards humanly possible. So not a great job by our slot receiver there. Okay, another one here now. This boundary receiver is the guy going to the Seahawks, the 2nd round draft pick. Okay, we were pretty aggressive with him this year when we got press coverage. Obviously, you can say we're running inside zone 6-man RPO, tight ends involved in the run game. We got 4 down linemen, we got 2 linebackers, so we know we're blocking those 6. So who's the biggest threat between the boundary safety here and the Sam linebacker? That's the quarterback's decision. Is it this guy or is it this guy? All right, obviously here, it's the boundary safety. He's low. Okay, we got a chance to take our one-on-one shot. We got a great player over here. We take our shot. It's a touchdown. Could have thrown the bubble too. Okay, but it's important. It's important that you coach your quarterback up the right way so he has confidence. And once he has confidence, it's amazing how you can talk to him and make sure that he's doing the things you want him to do when you want to make adjustments by drive, by play, during a timeout. And then be really aggressive to throw. The boundary safety is getting his nose down there in the run game. If he doesn't, keep handing it. Keep handing it. Keep handing it. Good throw, good catch. All right, here, probably same play again. Yep, these are all inside zones. We have a couple others coming up. All right, so here we go, 6-on-6. Sam, you can see we got 4 down linemen here. We got 2 linebackers. We're good run game wise. We got a lot of this year. We got this safety out wide. He's worried about our boundary receiver. Okay, the other safety's way up here, so he decides, you know what? I'm in good shape. I'm going to hand this thing. Let the safeties make tackles. We got to block 6 guys. If you're trying, we'll get to this when we get to the 3rd level RPOs. If you're trying to be explosive, okay, if you're trying to be explosive, you have to understand that you're gonna have to hand the ball. Try to run the ball. If you're going to run inside zone, try to run the ball at the shade. If you can find the shade, okay, which obviously is right here on this one. He's up top. If you run the ball to shade, you get 2 double teams. You get a double team between the center and the backside guard. You get a double team on this 3 technique with the front side guard and tackle. You will not get guys downfield like we RPO'd. Oh my God, I don't even know how many times, 800 times, whatever it is. And we got called downfield, I think 1 time. We called it. We ran it to the shit. We ran to the 3 technique. Center has nothing to do. He climbs too fast, and you end up getting a guy downfield. But when you run it to the shade, it's really hard to get guys downfield too fast, okay, if they stayed on the double teams like they should. But it's a good decision here. Both safeties are back. We got 6-on-6 in the box. Hand it off, downhill run, 8-9 yards. Good. It's good play. Good job. All right, here we go. Here's another one. Now this is this year again, 3-by-1 with the tight end. So we're in a 6-man RPO world. Inside zone week, 4 down linemen, split linebacker, 6-on-6. Life is good. They got the Sam all the way outside of our slot receiver. This is our 2nd round draft pick here. So obviously they got this dude outside of him. All right, so we don't have to worry about him. The question is which safety wants to come down and fill here. Okay. I don't know which one. They better come fast because we got pretty good numbers already. Hand the ball off. Okay, you can see the boundary safety. They know we're a big RPO team. This boundary safety, a lot of times when we get to the 3rd level RPOs and we start talking to somebody, this is who we read a lot of the time. And you can tell this is the kind of reaction you start getting out of safeties who they're trying to play both. Okay, well, we're going to continue to hand the ball. In this game, we rushed for 130 yards in the first half. I think we threw for 300 in the second. Second half, both safeties were flying down into the box. They had got sick of us running the ball on them. And we had, I think, three touchdown passes that were over 50 or 60 yards because of that. We just waited our turn. Quarterback did a good job of being patient and taking what they're giving us. And he ended up having a huge game because of it. But a good decision here on the 6-man. Inside zone RPO, just count numbers. I'm a big pistol fan. I mean, a lot of people are gun fans, and that's okay too. I like it better out of, I like the downfield. When you're trying to be explosive with RPOs, I like it out of pistol. It takes longer. It allows more time to get the safety sucked down. Guns really good for the bailout RPOs, the bubbles and the hitches and the little pop screens, all those things. I think guns probably better for that. It's better for reading ends. But when it comes to hiding which way we're running the zone, because you can run split zone with all these just as easily. I'm a huge pistol fan. All right, here we go. So we're back to inside zone. We got the 4-down lineman. We got the will linebacker. The Mike's kind of apex over the tight end here. We can block him, not a problem. So we're reading Sam here. So here's the one thing that we need to discuss. And this is an interesting one that I talked to the quarterback saying, hey, why didn't you throw the bubble? You know, much like a 5-man RPO, 6-man RPOs, if they decided to all out blitz this, now we're running inside zone weak. So we're running inside zone this direction. All right. Worst case scenario is if they decide to bring this Sam and walk him down and put him at the line of scrimmage, the quarterback is still responsible, just like the ones we watched earlier. The quarterback can go ahead and read him. You still can become a runner. It's not like my new quarterback can't run. So he always has the ability, if he gets surprised by that Sam linebacker and he's in the backfield, you go ahead and read him. He could have thrown the bubble here. He had the fade into the boundary. Probably not the greatest decision, but he's going to be surprised. Pre-snap, the guy held the blitz pretty good. He's out there. He didn't think he was coming. He freaked out probably right about there and said, oh, man, what am I going to do? Now he can hand it or pull it all off his defender. The 7th defender is his. Now he couldn't do that if it was the boundary safety. You hope he can't get surprised by the boundary safety. But Sam, it's a good job here. This is a play that we designed. I mean, this inside zone, we knew was going out the front door. So it's something that we had discussed that we didn't think if he came from depth, he could get there anyway. But I don't think he knew that. I don't think he knew this Sam was coming, to be honest with you. I think he was surprised by him. But he did a good job given that guy didn't make the play. As long as that blitzing Sam, that is the quarterback's guy. Just like earlier when we were in 10 personnel, the defensive end is the quarterback's guy. Okay, or the C gap defender. Now in this play with this tight end, 6-man RPO, okay, it is the D gap defender. That is his responsibility. He does a good job here. We get it going. Might have been lucky more than anything. All right, second level RPOs. This is still 6-man. This is more of a true bailout situation, whether you're running ISO or counter or split zone. Okay, this is true. You know, we use all hitches. We call it Hawaii all over the board. The greatest thing about RPOs is it gives you options. All right, so if you want to be a stretch team, like in this case, this is an outside run to the boundary. Our boundary receiver is in the blocking scheme. So we are running everything that's happening down here in this scheme is blocking. Okay, and we have the 2 hitches up top. So these 2 guys are running the hitches. And these guys, you could run pin and pull. There's a lot. If you need your receiver over here to be part of the run scheme, there's nothing wrong with it. Okay, run your favorite run schemes. Okay, the bailout is just to take easy yards when they're giving it to us. So the Sam decides to get involved in the fit. Now, thank God the Sam got involved in the fit, because with this boundary safety, I don't know if you guys can see him down here, standing right here. We were not handing this ball anyway. We were already pulling the ball. The quarterback's just saying if he doesn't move, he's going to throw the outside hitch. If he makes it even easier by moving, we're going to throw the inside hitch. It's a little bit easier to throw. So we were throwing this thing from the get-go. Sam moved and made an easier throw. We threw it to the inside hitch. Not a big deal. Not a huge fan of the different depths of the hitch. We got to get that fixed. Okay, nice, easy throw, whatever, 8-9 yard gain instead of running into a low safety on stretch into the boundary here. But the quarterback saw the boundary safety and knew he was throwing this already. It was just a question of which hitch he was going to throw to. Took advantage of it. It's a good job. All right, another example, same type of example of, I know there's a lot of bunch teams. I know there's a lot of people that like to run a lot of things out of your bunch scheme. Okay, so we use a single RPO into the boundary. It's a single hitch. All right, we're running inside zone. We could be running stretch here or some kind of pin and pull scheme to the field. knowing that if they ever give us an easy hitch from the boundary, we're going to take it. Okay, this was this year. I don't know why they played off and gave us a hitch this close to the end zone, but they did. He took advantage of it. But the variety of RPOs, as long as you're explaining it right, once the kids understand RPOs, you can get into any formation, any set, as long as the kids know the blocking schemes. You don't need to be multiple. You do need to be multiple in your RPOs. You do not need to be multiple in run game. You don't need to run 8,000 different run schemes. Get good at certain run schemes so your quarterback knows who's blocking who, so he knows who the guys he's in charge of. This one, we got plenty of blockers. He could have definitely handed this thing if he wanted to. He decided, I'm going to take the easy hitch, and boom, we're in the end zone. You can see his eyes over there. You just want to see, is that guy really going to back up? He is. Takes a quick hitch, touchdown. That rarely happens. Rarely happens. All right, so now let's go to 12 personnel. For those 12 or 21. All right, we now have 7 to block. All right, we are still going to go ahead and put the 2 hitches out there, bailout RPOs. They obviously have 8 in the box. Now, the fun part about RPOs is for some reason, if you did not want to, you wanted to run stretch up top or pin and pull down low, like 8 in the box doesn't matter unless you're running inside. So if you were going to run something outside here and you could block these 4 and these 3, those 7, you're going to leave that guy. You know, technically he could hand this. Now we're running inside zone, so we need to be able to block all of them. His inside zone could pop out the front door, could pop out the back door, could pop out in the middle. You don't know. Okay, so inside zone, he's got to throw this thing. He's going to take an easy hitch. Okay, we're trying to run the ball. We're trying to run the ball, and when they give us the easy ones, we're going to go ahead and take them. A lot of confidence built in your quarterback running these things. Okay, here's a single width, but it's 12 personnel. Okay, we're running split zone, same thing. Now, boundary safety's back here. Boundary safety's back, so quarterback's not worried about him, which is good. We can block 7, so you can count the 7 here. This is really the 8th defender. Okay, the biggest threat is that Sam linebacker. You can see our quarterback look right at the Sam. He triggers, take your hit. Nice, easy completion. Okay, it's not rocket science. Another one here. This one's interesting. I don't really like this read. This is actually a bad read. I don't like this boundary safety. He's so enamored. The quarterback, unfortunately, is so enamored with this guy. Okay, we get lucky on this run scheme. He's reading the Sam. Sam bails. He hands it. Luckily, it cuts back. We end up getting a big play out of this deal, but this would be the one that we'd have a conversation with the quarterback saying, hey, pre-snap, why did you read the Sam and not the boundary safety? The boundary safety, to me, seems like he's in a pretty interesting position. If you look at the difference between the 2 safeties, he's way forward. Maybe we should have been looking at him and taking a one-on-one shot down here to the boundary. Ends up working. We had this guy's plays for the Denver Broncos as running back, so when you have him out there, life is a lot more fun. All right, here's an example. I put this one on here just to show you the different run schemes. Now, we're running inside zone right. Okay, we're running inside zone this way. These 3 have these 3. We're manning the backside. We're taking our tight end up on the wheel. So it doesn't matter what blocking scheme you're using. Okay, once again, now this time the boundary safety's back. He doesn't worry about him. He decides to read the Sam instead. Not a big deal. Sam bails. And now this boundary safety has to make a play, and he has to fit it right. Okay, he doesn't fit it right. This is our young running back. He's back. He got 2 more years left. But this is the guy that replaced the other guy. But same thing, we got good numbers in the box. Now, if this Sam linebacker would have got involved, we would have been throwing that. I promise you. Okay, you got to have faith in your quarterback. He's got to understand what he's looking at. He's not going to be right every time. But when it's close, where this guy's, he's not way down, because I'll tell you, if this guy was standing right here, he would have known it. Okay, but if it's a gray area, the guy's still 8 yards off. You're still going to gain 3, 4, 5 yards. And a lot of times, if he doesn't fit it right, you still get big plays. But the worst thing is trying to tell a quarterback that it's black and white. There's nothing black and white. Okay, working with, we had a lot of good quarterbacks, and I think they really become masters of understanding when we're blocking 5, when we're blocking 6, when we're blocking 7. It's good cut. All right, so the next evolution of this thing, as we've continued to learn more and more about this thing, is you're going to have people that play man. All right, here's a 7-man RPO. Now they go to cover 0. All right, they got one more than us. So we always have a couple man beaters, okay, especially in the red zone. Okay, so here we make it look like we're running bubble. We run bubble wheel. Now this is a penalty by our receiver. He is not supposed to knock out this guy in the slot. This is a pick. Okay, we call it a rub. He's supposed to go over the top of him. Okay, make him go underneath so we can run this bubble wheel and take advantage of this cover 0. We will check this as soon as we see cover 0 from the sideline by just changing the name of the RPO. Our offensive line thinks we're running inside zone. They think we're running it. We're really taking a shot. So the bubble's turned into bubble wheel. I think we got a legal one on here. Here it is. So he gets some cover 0 still. Now you can see we're ISOing the tight end. We're manning up the backside guy, different run scheme. We're loading him up in the box. Same thing, get cover 0. Great job by this boundary receiver. Okay, he does it the right way, comes in here, gets on top of that guy. This guy's job is to take 3 steps to the bubble. Don't take too many steps, just 1, 2, 3, and then run the rail right off that guy. Good job taking a quick peek back, turn the corner, touchdown. That is a cover 0. You can do it in cover 1 as well, but it's a cover 0 beater. As we've continued to get better at this thing, we continue to add things every year. As we say, oh man, I don't feel like we have a lot of answers in when it's the safety coming down. I don't have a lot of answers when it's the cover 0 or this coverage or that coverage. And we just continue to tinker with it. And the guys understand it. So it's you can always go back to the basics when a team's going to give us bubbles and hitches. Here's another man beater. They're going to start pressing hard on number 1, okay, and number 2 if they don't want you to run that bubble wheel. When they do that, so here's a team that had seen us do this. So they press 1, they're off on 2 up top here, and they start playing off on this guy. And when you get the bubble wheel, so this guy can play over the top of it, which is a good decision. Now we just run the pick the other way, where the inside guy, they run this in the NFL a lot, where he's running. They play chicken, run at him as close as you can without hitting him, and then you run the wheel, and we're going to go ahead and shoot this guy underneath, give him the ball on the run. Once again, our line thinks we're running the ball. I think we're running outside zone here, maybe inside zone. But these are answers, okay? Answers for when you get different things. This is a man cover 0 beater when you're down there running RPOs. So if you have an athletic quarterback and you can run 10 personnel, 11 and 12, there's nothing that you don't have an answer for. Worst case, you tell your quarterback to read the blitzer. Even right here, worst case scenario, if he went ahead and read this blitzer right there, you either hand it or pull it, run around and walk in the end zone. Not a big deal. In fact, at the end of this game, this is our bowl game. Man, they went, it was 4th down to win the game, and they blitzed. They brought the free safety off the edge. He read him. He pulled it. He took 3 steps. He had no one left. It was him in the end zone, and he tripped over his own feet and fell down with no one around him. It was an interesting way to lose a bowl game. They ended up kicking a field goal on the next drive, but we were walking in to score with under a minute left. But it was a good read. He read the right guy. He just tripped. All right, so those are man beaters. I want to get to this part. This is my favorite part. This is the 3rd level RPO. Okay, this is where we're being aggressive. This is where we want to hit those glances and those deeper hitches. Take everything you've watched so far, okay, and just say, okay, we're being efficient. We're moving the ball. Everything's going well. We've been a top 1, 2, or 3 offense in this league for a long time. Always normally in top 30 or 40 in the country. But we want to be more explosive, so we want to start taking those hitches and making them 10 yards. And we want to start running the glance routes. And in cover 2, we want to run the glance to the slot. And when we get in 3-by-1, we want to run the glance to the single. And this is really where we took it to the next level. Same concepts here. It's a 6-man RPO. Okay, quarterback, he knows he can handle these 4. We can handle these 2. We don't have to worry about him. He's outside our slot receiver. So we are literally reading this guy. Okay, we are totally on the boundaries. The whole first half, this guy hung back, and we handed it, and we handed it, and we handed it. Finally, they got sick of it. And bam, we hit the glance. big play. This is where I think people realize he's a 4-3 and he can fly. But it's a great job. So this is, we really lived in this world. We did bailout on some of our unique runs, on counters, on pin and pulls, on power. We threw bubbles and hitches. But really, this is kind of what we focused on this year. And it was good for us. Okay, it was good for us. Once again, 6-man RPO. We got one high. We already got what we want. They got one more in the box than us already. 3 down linemen, 4 linebackers. It's 7-on-6. He knows he's throwing the ball. Okay, he knows he's throwing the ball. Bam. Okay, on these glance route, it's the 3rd outside for the receiver. You watch this receiver up top. This guy's going to be playing for the Seahawks. I think it was 56 overall pick. 1, 2, 3. Take it hard. Cross his face. Now, one thing we do, okay, we run hitch away, and we run this guy on a seam, okay, because we want this guy over here. And if you saw that picture, it didn't have a seam. I had a bubble. We can do different things on this side of the field. But this is the one that has been working the best for us. We run the seam to occupy the free safety. Okay, there's one left. We want to put pressure on him to get him over here and go ahead and take this thing. We do have a play. Once this free knows what we're doing, he's going to start cheating over here. Oops, sorry. He's going to start cheating over here to the boundary. And then we do have a play where we fake this bang post because we run it so much, everyone knows we're running it. Okay. But we have a play where we fake the bang post and we go ahead and we slip this slot receiver right down the middle of the field. I think I have that on here. I'm not 100% sure, but this is a good job. When you get to these type of down the field RPOs, I think the pistol is 100 times better. It allows the receiver to get going, get on his toes, and he can throw it right on time. Ride it, pop your feet, falls out, nice throw. And then there's D. He can run. But same thing, just different RPO, 3rd level. Okay, 3rd level. Now, if the Sam wants to keep coming, we have different ways to handle him. But we're really trying to make sure that we can keep the Sam at bay. Here's another great look. Okay, we got 6 in the box at 6-on-6. Okay, Ball State had a great year this year. The question is where they're going to add people. Okay, they decide this guy played like the Sam, and he decides to add himself to the box, and we replace him. The great thing about reading the boundary safety is when he spins to the middle of the field, the quarterback doesn't need to see this guy coming down or this guy coming. It doesn't really matter. When he spins the middle of the field, it opens the area we're trying to throw. Okay, our glance. Bam. Good job. All right, Central Michigan. So now we are in 12 personnel. So we know we can block 7. All right, they got 7 for 7. All right, this is an example, and you're going to see one again later on where everything is deeper now, right? We're trying to be, what are they going to do? They just decided to switch their mind. So now we're going to go ahead and read this guy. We were about to read the safety a minute ago when they were standing like this. We're going to read 5 because 5 had to come down and out of the box. Now we switched, they switched. So now we're going to read 3. Not a big deal. We decide to go ahead and run the D pitch. Okay, we call it pitch. D pitch. Instead of the 5-yard version, we're in pistol. It times up better in pistol. Defenses don't know what we're doing in pistol, so it's way better. Everything we did that you saw early in this presentation is just more aggressive now. It's down the field more. Obviously, we have a guy that can roll, so that helps. But we had another guy that had a bunch of big plays in this game too, because you got him in a run pass conflict, obviously. Okay, good job by the quarterback here, throwing the pitch into the slot here. 1 high, it's kind of what we lean on, the bang post into the boundary and the pitch to the field. All right, here we go. Now, we got 2 high. Look, we are in 20 personnel. We can block 6. All right, so they got their 6 right here. All right, we're going to read this guy. Now we're going to run that same glance, okay, to the slot. Okay, we're reading 5. Quarterback's looking at 5 the whole time. 5 decides to add himself, and we are going to go ahead and run the glance. Should be 3rd outside. 1, 2, 3. Yep. I don't like his angle. He should be thicker. Okay. I don't want him to think post. It's a catch and run play. He's way too thin here. In fact, if he was thicker, he probably scores. If he gets a little bit thicker, he catches the ball here and hopefully can split them. Obviously, they're doubling, they're doubling our stud over here into the boundary, gets the boundary safety out of there, and we're just working on 5. But it doesn't matter what you run on offense. You can incorporate all of this as long as your quarterback can count, and I hope he can. What did we run there? Was it ISO? Yep. Split zone, man the backside. Man, good job. All right, so here's another example. This is just to the single receiver. We're going to go ahead and run the same deeper hitch, call it snitch, to the single. Okay, once again, we'll have run a lot of glances over here. We do have the out route we can run, but everything's down the field. So these plays are bigger chunk plays this year, okay, because we decided to be more aggressive and it allowed us to run pistol a lot more. But you can see the free safety starting to cheat over here. They know what we're trying to do. And I think it's in this game, which means it's probably the next clip coming up. Yeah, this is it. No, it's not. This is another snitch. Single receiver. They got 7 in the box. We got 6 to block. We know we're throwing it from the get-go. Bam, he's taking the snitch into the boundary. We could run the spy over here too. Okay, they can't cover it all. We make sure we keep switching it up to the sideline. And we'll switch it at the line of scrimmage. Okay, if we get hard inside leverage, you look at the leverage where we start getting, he's way inside of him because they've seen us do this plenty. So that's why with this look, we'll change it from a glance to a deeper hitch just to give our receiver a leverage advantage. Here's one. There it is. All right, so this is the one. This is kind of a play off the play. Once they know what you're doing, they got 6 in the box. It's obvious that this is going to be their 7. Quarterback knows it. Okay, the free safety's getting nosy because he knows we're trying to throw the ball to our dude over here. This is a design play where we pump this thing and we sneak this guy up the middle. You can see what happens to the free safety here. As soon as the quarterback looks into the boundary, gives a little ball fake, and we're back in the middle of the field wide open. I don't like this receiver that far in the middle. I'd like him a yard or 2 inside the hash. I don't want him all the way over to the middle. But you start getting to know how they're gonna play it, The only other thing I have, a 3rd level RPO, same thing. Now we're running double glance, not just a one side glance. Okay, we can block 7 here. They have to activate a safety. Okay, they activate the boundary safety here. If they activated the field safety, okay, we could throw the field one. I think we got this is the 3-by-1 set this time. You can see the quarterback does a great job. He's looking right at number 2. 2 comes down. Bam. The great part is we ran this play. I think this might be, yeah, here it is. Same play, 2-by-2 inside zone. They already got the safety down now. Okay, they got one more than we have. So now we're going to read off the free. Okay, he's going to try to go take that away. Quarterback does a great job here. Sees the safety take off, and he takes his other glance. We don't always run double glance. A lot of times it's out of 21 and 12. And because we're expecting we need an 8th in the box, they got to play one high, and we're going to read off the free. And bam, there goes to our other receiver. And we got another one here. Another soda, double glance. Now both safeties decide to get involved in the party. We're running the ball well. We got another one. So it's not superly complicated. I don't think what else I got. I know I'm running out of time here, so I'm going to try. I'm wrapping it up. Yeah, this is just I just got a couple one-offs where, okay, we're doing the same thing, 3-by-1 in the boundary. We're on split zone this time, but we run the out route. Doesn't really matter. Our guys are better at throwing the deeper hitch and the glance. This could be a good one if your quarterback and receivers like it. We don't really like it, but just show you it's there. The other thing would be, here's another one into the boundary and out. This is all from 2 years ago. Our new quarterback doesn't like this one as much. All right, there's the only other thing, the last piece of information that I think makes this thing really interesting, because eventually you start showing them one, because the defensive guys, they get paid too. You start showing them one and giving them another. So here's a 12 personnel, what they assume is going to be a 7-man RPO. They assume all the tight ends are blocking, but they're not. It's actually a 6-man RPO. We have our tight end down here Our tight end's cross-cutting. This guy's just bluffing and going to the flat. So the defense is thinking we're running a 7-man RPO. We're really running a 6-man RPO. It's a really effective scheme to switch up the looks. They could think you're running a 6-man RPO. You can include your tight end. This was very successful for us. They think we're running 7-man RPO. It's really 6. And you end up turning guys loose quite a bit. Here's another one. I think it's the same play again. The look of a 6-man RPO, or sorry, a 7-man RPO, but it's really a 6. And you get some good looks. Another Ball State one. All right, this looks like a 6-man RPO. It's really a 5-man. Okay, the problem with this is it's going to be a throw, for God's sakes. Everyone knows it. I mean, they got too many in the box. Quarterback knows it. We're going to be reading off this boundary outside linebacker. He gets nosy, and we're going to dump it right there and get him in the end zone. So the greatest thing is, in the learning phase, you got to show them. Here's another one. This looks like a 6-man RPO. Get the tight end involved. It's really a 5-man RPO. They have 6 in the box. We know we're throwing it. And there, we got the hitches everywhere. We can sneak our tight end. He's playing for the Carolina Panthers right now. I think we got one more of those. Yep, looks like a 6-man. Then we rotate, motion in to make it look like a 7-man, but it's really just a 6-man. Get the tight end down the middle. So the variety of the things that you can do. Oh, here's the last one. This is the last step. This is an ISO. Okay, this is a couple years ago. Okay, we bring our tight end in like he's ISOing on the 6-man RPO, and he ends up bluffing and going by the linebacker. You got to get the perfect look against perfect defense. Boundary safety is aggressive here. We knew we would be. As soon as the tight end inserted, he bluffs, and we drop it over the top. Now, look, that's a specific design play. You're not going to get that a ton. But the best part about the whole thing is, well, let me stop sharing real fast so I can finish this thing up, is the fact that you have the ability to do anything you want. If it helps you, if they're loading the box and they don't have good eyes with their safeties, whether you hit them with bailouts, whether the bailouts just get you out of your favorite run looks. If there's one look you don't like into a run play, your quarterback can always get you out of it. But then when you start showing them, we're going to run these types of RPOs, and you're keeping them at bay, and they, the ways they're going to try to stop you. The big thing in our breakdown room is we always talk about who is the next guy to the box. When we get in 10 personnel, who's their 6th guy? When we're in 11 personnel, how do they add their 7th? When we're in 12, how do they add their 8th? And as soon as you know how they get them in the box to stop the run, if not, you should be running the ball all day. But as soon as you know that, now you know what RPOs to run, and it's really simple for the quarterback, and you just train the throws and make sure he's comfortable throwing them, and your guys run them to perfection. And you can really create, especially there at the end. I mean, we went from 33 a game to 42 a game just by being more aggressive with their RPOs. Instead of running hitches and bubbles, we still did it some, but we were more aggressive down the field. And it's really paid off as we've continued to study it and learn it. And I've got great advice from a lot of really good coaches. We've added little things, little protection things that really take it to the next level, that if you continue studying it, even though if you are an RPO team, you should continue to evolve as an RPO team to continue to score a lot of points and be explosive, because that's what the name of the game is today. So I appreciate your time. I appreciate you guys having me, and I wish you guys the best of luck in the fall.